everyone. This is Mamela Titiliado, a student of Cebu Technological University Moalboal campus, and we are here to conduct an interview about our physical education and health subject together with my groupmates, Ms. Jocelyn Basilisco and
Darren Sinan.
And our respondent for today is Ms. Marie Relacion, a physical education teacher in our own locality, Alcantara, Cebu. Good morning, ma'am. So the first question is, what are the competencies and traits of a PE and health teacher that you have been practicing?
Well, since I have been a PE and health teacher, the competency and traits that I have been practicing is that to be physically fit, active, and another thing is to develop. Because with that thing, I will be able to develop the skills of the students, how to keep them, how to help them maintain fit and active.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Second question, as a PE and health teacher, what is your teaching philosophy?
As a PE and health teacher, my teaching philosophy is not only to teach by my knowledge, but to teach with a compassion, with a heart. Okay, and then, because with that thing, if you are not that compassionate in teaching, you won't be able to teach the student with the 100% knowledge, because teaching with a heart, Manggod, is very nice, since students will not only learn something like from the book, but also they will learn something they will be able to let's say remember something, especially when they grow up or when they become bigger na. So that's it.
So next question, how these traits and philosophy help you in your profession or specialization?
Teaching with not only by knowledge but with a heart or compassion. This philosophy really helped me in what way? First is with this trait, I was able to love myself, love my profession. Because before, you know what, teaching was not really my profession, John. But as I have learned to teach students with compassion, in that thing, and then seeing them how they learn, how they love the subject, how they love what they do, that made me realize na being a teacher or this profession is the best profession to be in.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am. I'm the next interviewer. The next question: how does this pandemic affect your profession specialization?
Oh my gosh, this pandemic really for example, if I'm going to rate it with my profession, especially sa the way the subjects that I am handling, this pandemic really affect me like 50%, Jude. You know why? Because during this pandemic, I was not able to see the students. And then remember that it's really difficult to teach without a student. So, and then another thing with the thing that I'm handling, like a PE or health teacher, you need to have manggod them. You need to face them in order to impart especially the skills to the students.
Okay, ma'am. The next question: how do you cultivate a positive relationship with students and to your subject PE and health during this pandemic?
To cultivate a positive relationship with my subject PE and health during this pandemic is what I did mostly is I keep on connecting them through Facebook Messenger or texting, and then keep on encouraging them that they must do this one in order for them to learn. I always keep on telling them that they have to be positive all the time, even if modular learning is really difficult for them, because nobody can teach them like the way we teach here in school.
Thank you.
Okay, good morning, ma'am. So I am the next interviewer. So my question is, how do you keep your student engaged and motivated while in remote learning?
To keep my students engaged and motivated while having the remote learning is that in my modules, I always include activities which are easier for them to do and will make them enjoy. despite this pandemic.
Next is, how do you integrate social emotional learning into your physical education class?
My way of engaging the social emotional learning in my PE class is that in my activities or exercises in the modules or if not in if during face-to-face classes is that I let them socialize with their classmates in their activities. I want them to know Manggod that you cannot only do that thing by yourself. So you have to involve another person or another people.
Yeah, we need to socialize. Last question, ma'am. How do you maintain your own professional development and what areas would you select for your professional growth?
To maintain
Your professional
development is to keep my studies or continue my studies. Like what I am doing right now is I go on with my masteral class because if you will just stay in this position, you will not learn. You will become stagnant. So you need to proceed. You need to go on to the next level. So, for example, like you, in the future, Manjol, you will become a teacher. So do not just stay in this position. You try to aim higher. So with that thing, to achieve those things, you need to go on studying. Padayon lang gihapon. Then the professional areas that I want to, let's say, I want to improve is sometimes there are times man jud we're in I cannot just handle students exactly. Like there are different there are students students have varied intelligences or let's say have varied attitudes. So most of the time that is the problem which I have to improve. But you're handling students with different abilities or attitudes.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for spending your time with us. Though we know that we're too busy right now because of the evaluation is nearly coming, but still, you allow us to conduct an interview to you. We do really hope that you can inspire more learners or students, and also we do hope that we, with my group mates, we can apply those learnings that you have shared to us as a future educator. Thank you once again.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Marie Relacion from the Moalboal campus. I am here to conduct you a short interview about my physical education subject.
Good afternoon, sir. By the way, I am Jessniel Alferez. I am currently teaching at St. Augustine Academy, handling advisory, grade 9 advisory. I'm actually an English major, but I am handling in senior high subject a PE subject.
Nice meeting you, sir.
Nice meeting you too.
So the first question is, what are the competencies and traits of a PE and health teacher that you have been practicing?
Okay, we cannot direct one competencies of each subject that we will going to possess on how to teach students effectively. We cannot direct one competencies because we are handling diverse students in each courses or in each strand. By that, I am using alternative learning or alternative teaching in order for me to cater those students who came from different backgrounds and diverse learners. Because according to Howard Gardner of multiple intelligences, we have a lot of learners, and therefore competencies we are not going to stick one competency, but we will going to use alternative sources, different references to cater each learner.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, okay, question number 2. As a PE and health teacher, what is your teaching philosophy?
Okay, my teaching philosophy, I will go into specific at this one. First is existentialism. First of all, I'm going to teach students the existence of that student in that specific community or that specific school. I am going to use existentialism in connecting the PE and health subject in order for the student learn how to perform different sports and how to manage their stress, and especially how they going to exert an effort in performing a certain activity. Just like, for example, many students and learners that became obesity or became fat because they give more time in using gadgets, using digitals and technologies. But somehow, we're now facing a millennial age or the time of technology and less activity. But since I am teaching PE subject and health, I am not focusing of that physical activity, but I am also referring to the health. Because we cannot directly perform an activity to that student if we doesn't know his or her health. In other words, my philosophy is just to know my student and what are the needs and wants of the students going to learn from me.
So, let's proceed. Question number 3. How do these traits and philosophy help you in your position or specialization?
Okay. My traits in teaching students, it helps me also develop my teaching strategies and also how to develop students by teaching the PE and health subject, because I do believe in teaching learning process. It's not sufficient that you are only teaching students because you are knowledgeable enough than the student. You are teaching students because there is a process. You are teaching as well as you are learning. In that traits, it's somewhat like vice versa. You are teaching, though also you are learning. Then the students, you are teaching them, and also they are learning. And there are some learnings and knowledge to the student that you don't have. And by that, you will going to evaluate more knowledge of that student than compared to yours, in order to have a more and more productive learning that you can teach the student.
Wow. Question number 4. How does this pandemic affect your position or specialization?
Okay, it really affects in this time of pandemic. Since we are using remote learning, we cannot really have the assurance to our students if he or she really learn from our lessons, because we are not near for them to assess if they are really learning. Because according to the Vygotsky of his MKO, more knowledgeable others, through scaffolding, we can really have the assurance that the students learn. Hence, in this time of pandemic, we cannot give the 100% sure, or in other words, we cannot give the value of the learning that we can give to the student. But since I am teacher and I'm teaching the PE subject, I really do my best to my learners really learn in this time of pandemic. I know it's very rigid, but this is a new normal, new strategies, and new approaches in order for the students to learn.
Hi sir, good afternoon. I'm Javelin Basilisco. I am the next interviewer. So, my question is, how do you cultivate a positive relationship with students and your subject PE and health during this pandemic?
Okay, I am cultivating learning because I am teaching. From the word education, it came from a Greek word, edukare, means putting vision into action. In other words, I am teaching students not only for the vision, but I am going to cultivate into action. Because learning only retained in knowledge. According to Vygotsky, learning by doing. We cannot learn unless we are not doing, right? If we are only stick of the theoretical knowledge of a student, we cannot have the assurance that learning that you are teaching is really retentive. Therefore, I am cultivating the learning of the students from vision into action, and after that, application. That's it.
My next question is, how do you keep your student engaged and motivated while in remote learning?
Okay. My students became motivated through giving big points, and also uh, cheering them up to answer the module, because not it is not necessary that they are only answering the module as well as they are learning. We really know that in giving the module, they are not 100% sure that they are the one who are answering that module. But by motivating them to answer the module, I am always cheering them up, no matter what the answer is, as long as the answers is came from them. And by that, we can really say that the learning is effective if that answer is came from them. That's it.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Darren C. Lambo, the next interviewer. Next question. How do you integrate social emotional learning into your physical education class?
Okay. By integrating social emotional in integrating the subject PE and health, from the word social, I let them socialize by using different competencies that came from MELC's most essential learning competencies, or in other words, most essential topic, so that the student can learn and we can able to integrate them through interpersonal by learning and experiencing to others. And by that, we can able to integrate emotional and also physical learning through performing such an activity. And there's a lot of activities that we can integrate to the students in order for him or her to learn effectively. Because a teacher is very rigid. We cannot stick of one competencies and the integration of the subject P and health. P, or physical education, is expected to be more on performing and more on application through manipulation of the student. Because in PE subject, we can easily integrate the learning if that student is really involved in our strategies and approaches in using different resources of learning. That's all.
Last question, sir. How do you maintain your own professional development, and what areas did you select for your professional growth?
Okay. There's always be a place of improvement, especially in profession and growth of ideas, growth and development of our profession. Through attending seminars, since there's no face-to-face seminars, we are using a webinar, especially in our school. We're having a PE and health subject. Last year, we are attending a PE and health subject, and by that attending webinar, it increases or it also improves your specialization of that subject. Because if you are only stick with your stock knowledge or your previous knowledge, there's no place of improvement in that situation. But hence, teaching is a process on which we can teach the students not only for the heart, but also forming students for the better future. We can say that a student teaching student and connection to the teacher. What students do, what student is, that is reflection for you as a teacher. If you really teach the students effectively, therefore you can say that your profession as a teacher is improving. If that student is stagnant and passive, therefore you as a teacher, you are not actively teaching students, not from the heart, but you are using your brain. In teaching the students effectively and improving your profession as a teacher, you will always know your student. You will not teach only from the book, but you will teach from the heart. In developing your profession, you should always be you will always be consistent and constant of what you are doing in order for you to grow, not only physically, but the growth of your profession as a teacher. Because as a teacher, we are means and defined as a risk takers. As a flexible teacher, Do not stick of one competencies. Do not stick of one approaches. Do not stick of only one strategies, but we are using alternative strategies, approaches, and methodologies in order for the students learn and for you to improve and enhance your teaching style to teach students effectively. That's all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.